that mean spirit is from a place of hurt. And when you're not really dealing with that hurt, you tend to project it onto other people. What is going on? Mi familia, mi gente, my village people, and everyone in between. I hope you all are doing well. Let's hop right into it. I recently did a video on IJGB girls and Lagos girls and, mean girl energy. And so I said, you know what? Let me tell my story about how I was just delivered from that mean girl spirit and really just how I developed my confidence over the years to where I don't have to resort back to that.
All right, guys, you will notice that the lighting will change in this video. My battery died halfway, but I wanted to keep on going. And also, I'm going to be getting new microphones so that I'm not so far from the microphone that I do have. So quality will change as well as every other thing. But I did not want to waste this video because done is better than perfect. So I was like, you know what, let's just do it and we'll get better as we go on. So bear with me and back to the video.
One thing I just do not understand, and I don't think I will ever understand, are mean girls as adults. Like, why are you in your mid-20s, early 30s, and you're a mean girl? Like, this is not high school. What do you get out of that? I think there has to be something like developmentally, psychologically wrong with these people to think that acting in this way, like, do you think it's cute?
In order for the story to make sense, let me give you all a little backstory. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, came to the United States when I was 7 years old. And from what I remember, I was a princess, so my family, they don't used to joke with me. I just remember, really elementary is where it started. And elementary was cool, but kids are kids, kids are mean. And so I think not understanding the culture and just the difference in culture caused kids to be mean. And I remember specifically just like my features, not really seeing the beauty in it, right? Because, some people, they weren't used to that. When something is different or foreign to some people, they don't really understand, especially when you're a kid, right? So I was made fun of because of that, and then that caused some trauma. And when you're someone that you're being poked at, you learn how to poke back. And sometimes that can result in you now being the one who is like making fun of other people because of your hurt. Now in high school, I would say end of middle school, high school, teenagers are just insecure. They don't know whether they are coming or going. Everyone is just trying to be what they're not. So I remember I got into another fight. Now this was 2 fights one day, and 2 of the girls were friends, right? So it was one-on-one, and I beat both of them. I was gonna say low-key, but it wasn't a low-key thing. It was a very high-key thing. But that's another story for another day. The assistant principal did call me Muhammad. God rest his soul. But that's not the point of this video. Really, I was thinking about the friendship of me and one of the girls. And when it comes to this friendship, I am sure that there was a root of envy that caused me to maybe, make fun of her. And she did her own making fun of too. And a lot of times it's really that you admired this person, but you feel like what you like about them or what you think is cool about them is a threat to you, which is really not. So I'm sure that probably caused some tension and that ended up resulting in a fight. And these are things you see like middle school, high school, just teenage girls in general. That's why I try to have grace for teenagers. Just knowing what I know and knowing what I've gone through, I know that a lot of them, they're trying to find out who they are and they're just insecure. So fast forward to a couple of years. Now I'm in college, right? Now I am in the club scene, and there's a little bit of insecurity there when you are a freshman in the club era. You're trying to make friends and, you're in this environment that does call for competitiveness, even when you grow up. When did change actually start happening? I really feel like my heart began to change really around 1920 when I gave my life to Christ. I know it sounds cliche, but it's actually really the truth. And why is that? It was because I began to see myself the way God saw me and God sees me, right? And then I also began to kill this flesh that does want to be mean, right? Because really, that mean spirit is from a place of hurt. And when you're not really dealing with that hurt, you tend to project it onto other people. So now that I'm in Christ and he's showing me that, okay, give this to me, and I'm able to cry about certain things and run to God about certain things, even certain things dated from my past, my upbringing, then the healing really truly begins. And so I began to have more joy in really just the little things. And not only did I start seeing myself the way God sees me, but I also began to see other people the way God sees them. So instead of just looking at someone and just automatically wanting to look at the wrong in them, you start to want to see the good in them, or you start to see the good in them. And I remember, gosh, in like middle school, high school, it was so normal for somebody to just walk in the room and immediately somebody's making fun of them for no other reason other than you want to be funny and you want to seem cool. So you look for someone else to pick on. And it's just like, that's just a big sign of insecurity. The more I walked with the Lord, the more I began to really have joy, right? His joy. So I just wasn't as pressed. Now, it doesn't mean that it just happened overnight, right? It's a process. And so sometimes I would be convicted when like I would go to gossip or want to talk down on somebody or go back to my old ways, which is why it's important to surround yourself with people who are also on that journey with you. And, you try to gossip to them and they're like, I don't really see what you're talking about. Or sometimes they may not even correct you right away, but it's the way that they respond that'll convict you. And you'll be like, dang, you know what? Yeah, probably shouldn't have said that. Like, make you kind of feel a little crazy. So the more I really began walking with the Lord and just believing what he says about me, the confidence just naturally began to grow. So now I'm realizing that, you know what? I'm content with myself. It doesn't mean that there aren't some flaws and insecurity. Like, we all have them, right? But overall, I'm good. I began just loving my features again and being like, oh my goodness, I'm grateful for these African features, because then when somebody sees me, they'll say, oh, I can tell you're from Africa. That is a good thing. I'm proud. Like I'm proud African girl. Okay. I love where I come from. I love my history. I also started to see myself when I would go to certain events and, in large spaces, I was no longer like feeling like I had to size people up or like, okay, who's here? That's this and that. I'm there to have a good time. I've noticed that as someone who does a lot of weddings, you will see, sorry, that was my couch. I will see the aunties and uncles that are easily offended. And then you have the other side, which are the aunties and uncles that they just have this joy, like they're light on their feet. There's this youthfulness about them. They're bubbly, they're happy. And I'm just like, I want to be like that, because one thing I've noticed, they tend to seem younger, like more youthful. Even if they're like 60, 70, they just have this youthful spirit. And I think that is a beautiful thing to have. When you have these other ones, they know, all they know how to do is be frowning their face, doing that's what they know. Why don't you be looking 20 years older than your age? I also stopped putting myself in like certain environments. I mean, again, I don't really have a desire for the club scene. If that's your thing, do you? It's just not for me. And I just feel like there's just a lot of negativity that's bred in those environments. And I don't have a desire for it, honestly. And I think that's why I love weddings, because you get the songs, you get the celebration, and we're actually celebrating something. And so because that whole mean girl thing was something that is in my past, something I struggled with, I still have to be mindful, because if you're not careful and if you're not staying close to the Lord, those feelings will try to creep back up. And in the case that they do, I have to really recognize them. It's good to recognize it. Are you feeling a bit of envy? Why is it that when you see this person do well, or you see that God is blessing this person, you start feeling some type of way? I would take it to the Lord and I say, when I saw this today, it made me feel some type of way. And then I begin to really affirm myself with what God says about me, and then also count my blessings, right? And look at what God has blessed me with, not just the material things either. And so I leave feeling a little better. But if you're not somebody who does that, and you don't acknowledge those feelings and they just keep piling on, I just feel like that is literally how that stuff it's like mold. It just keeps breeding and growing. I've also learned to just be content with who I am. I am not for everybody, and everybody's not for me. Everybody's not gonna like what I say, how I look, my personality, my humor, my content, and that is perfectly okay. Once you can really just accept that, you won't feel the need to now you have to prove your value to this person and this person. Like, I'm good, thank you. Something else that really helps me is I try to look for people who have also done the healing work. And by that, I mean confident people. I love when I meet people who are just confident, not arrogant, but they're confident in who they are. And you can tell, because a person who is insecure, they're going to try to chip at your own insecurities. Let's say you have a beat down car, or you're in a situation currently that's probably not ideal. Someone that's insecure is going to try to kind of poke at that, and kind of bring that up, because know that that mean girl competitive spirit, a person can have more than you and still feel intimidated by you, by your giftings or the way that people gravitate towards you. It is a real thing. And again, no one is perfect. We all have our insecurities, but when you surround yourself with people or you befriend someone who has not done the healing work, they are just insecure themselves. You gotta be careful, especially if you're somebody that is confident in yourself and you're content with yourself. One, they're gonna see that as you're arrogant, right? And two, if you're someone who is like personable and people like you and whatever, you have favor upon your life, and they are insecure within themselves, my dear, better watch out. Don't bring that person close to you. That's what I'm telling you. You're not good though.
If you're a woman, a grown adult woman, and you're still making fun of other women for the way they look or the way they dress or the way they do their makeup or the way they do their hair, even their life choices, I want you to take an honest look at yourself, because really it's a reflection of where you are not happy with your own life. And you're so busy focused on other people's lives and tearing other people down.
Surround yourself with quality, like-minded people that are going to help you on that journey, and not people who like to just tear individuals down. At this big age, please, I don't want to be in no mean girl friendship. No, I'm not even a cliquey type person. I vibe with who I vibe with. And so let's just continue to do the work. If that's something that you truly struggle with, ask God to help you with it. Ask God to really prune your heart and really show you the beauty of who you are. It's okay, right? You are made in his image. There's no need for you to feel threatened by anybody else's success, anybody else's looks or what they have or whatever. Work what you have. Work the hand that you have been given. And I feel like that is really one of the best advices that I can give. So comment below if this resonated with you. Definitely share it with someone, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.